pivots are basically when you want to summarize the data, just like the group by, right? In the this thing, in the SQL, you learned about the group by, right? So here also we will be creating the pivots, right? For example, here is a product column, right? So you want to see, right? So which product is giving me the maximum sales, right? Or which product we are getting the maximum complaints, right? So this is the complaint ID. For which product we are getting the maximum complaint, or product wise, I want to see the number of complaints, right? How we can see this? How we can see this? For each product, right? How many complaints are there? So for solving these kind of problems, we can use the pivots, right? Pivots in the sense, go to the insert, right? Firstly, remove this filters, right? I do not want to apply any filters as of now. Go to the insert, right? And click on this pivot table, right? Here you will be seeing this pivot table. Click on this pivot table, right? So by default, it will select the entire data, right? But what I would suggest, right? So for double sure, right? What you can use, click on this, right? Control Shift right arrow, Control Shift down arrow, right? Control Shift down arrow, right? So, and using the scroll button, you can see whether the entire data is selected or not, right? So this will make sure that yes, your entire data is selected now, right? And click on OK, right? So in this way, this pivot table will get generated, right? Now I can generate the pivot whatever I want, right? Now here, if you see, these are all the columns I have in my data, right? Complaint ID, date submitted, product, issue, all these things, right? And here I have 4 different partitions. First one is filters, second is columns, third is rows, and fourth is values, right? For example, I want to see, right, product wise complaints, right? I want to see product wise complaints, right? For each product, how many complaints are there, right? So this is what I want to see, right? So these are the different products, credit card, mortgage, right? For each product, I want to see the complaints. So what I can do, I can look for products here. Where are my products, right? Here is the product. So drag this in the rows. See, in this way, these rows are coming. Now, what I want to see the complaints, right? So after that, look for the complaint. So here is the complaint ID. Now drag this in the values, right? Now see, these numbers are coming. What are these, right? If you see the complaints, right? So this is 2062 number. This is 2. See, we were talking about the pivots, right? So here we have the complaint ID, right? Now, what these numbers are? These numbers are nothing. These are the sum of all these customer complaint IDs, right? So these are the sum of all these complaint IDs. For bank account or service, it is taking the sum of all the complaint IDs, right? But I do not want sum. What I want the count, right? Because sum is not making sense, right? I want only the count. So for that, what we can do, click on this down arrow button, right? Here you will see the different options, right? Value field settings. So when you click on this value field settings, so here by default it is sum, right? By default it is sum. So click on this count and okay, right? See, this is what it is telling me now. This is telling me that 469 records are there or complaints are there for this. 3136 complaints are there for this product, right? So maximum are for which product? Checking or saving account, right? After that, for credit card or prepaid card. After that, mortgage, right? And how many total records are there? 9,999. Right? In this way, right? Now, in this, we have the filters also. Filters in the sense, right? So let's take the example of date submitted, right? Let's take the example of date submitted, right? So here you can apply the filter on date submitted, right? Or if you want to take any other variable, let's take the example of tag state, right? So we have the different states available, right? So for which state do you want to see the data, right? So click on this, select multiple items, right? So I want to see for AE, AK, AL, and AP, right? For these states, I want to see. Click on OK. So we can see that for these 4 states, we have the data. We have total 89 requests, and maximum requests are for credit card or prepaid card, right? So this is what do we call it as the pivots, right? So in the same way, right? If I want to see, right, for all of these products, right, I want to see, right, submitted via, right, submitted via. So what you can do, drag the submitted via in the columns, right? Now, what is this? What is this telling me? So in the columns, I want not date submitted, but submitted via. Let me remove this, 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 and this thing. Right now, what this is telling me that for all of these 4 states, right, for bank account or service, right, we are getting 2 complaints from the phone, 1 complaint from the postal mail, and 2 complaints from the web mail. So this is like a cross matrix. This is like a cross matrix, right? So let's suppose you have the sales, right? You have the sales of different products, right? So you want to see for which product we are getting the sales from which platform, right? So in this way, we can see this, right? So this is how you are doing in this. Right. So now there are so many things you can do with this pivot, right? Click on this pivot, and here you will see this pivot table analyze and the design, right? So for example, you do not want to see this grand total, right? So firstly, let's remove the filter from this, right? Select all these, right? Total are 9,999. So we can see that from email, we are getting only a single request from the email, or a single complaint from this, right? We have some blanks also, right? So intentionally we deleted this, right? And maximum complaints are coming from referrals or maybe from web, right? From web, we are getting 4,610. After that, from referrals, right? So in this way, we are getting the request from different platforms, right? Now, in this, let's suppose I do not want to see this grand total. I do not want to see this grand total, right? I can remove this also. So go to this pivot table analyze or design, right? Here you will see the grand totals. Click on this off for rows and columns, right? Off for rows and columns. If you click on this, see the grand total has been removed, right? If you want to create the chart, you can create the charts also, right? So when you go to the pivot table analyze, here you will see the different charts, right? So when we are going to create the dashboard, right? So we will be using these charts only to create the different dashboards, right? So these are the different line chart, pie chart, bar chart, right? All these are the different charts available for this, right? Now, the benefit of this pivot chart is, right? So down the line, let's suppose if the values gets changed in this, right? So if the value gets changed, for example, this NJ, right? So this also becomes the NJ, this also becomes the NJ, this also becomes the NJ, right? Then you don't have to do anything here, right? Simply click on this, go to the pivot table, analyze, and refresh the chart, right? Just refresh the chart. Automatically, the numbers will get refreshed. You don't have to do anything. Just refresh the chart, right? So when you are going to create the MISs, right? So in the analytics project, we have some MISs also, right? Where you do the regular reporting to the clients, right? So there you'll be using this pivot charts. So this thing. Now, let's suppose you are showing this pivot to your manager or to your client on the video call, right? Or on this thing, Zoom call, right? Using your screen sharing. And he's interested in seeing these 3 records, right? Which are through web checking or saving account, and which have the missing this thing label, right? So just double click on this and it will show you all these 3 records, right? It will show you all these 3 records, right? So whatever you want to see, just double click on this, right? I want to see these 105, double click on this, right? And these are those 105 records, right? So in this way, you can play around. If you want to create one more pivot, right, based on the different conditions, simply copy this, and paste it over here, right? And do the required changes, whatever you want to do, right? You do not want state, remove this. See, filter has been removed, right? You do not want to see columns, remove this column, right? I'm seeing only this, right? Now you can do some more changes in this, right? Let's suppose you want to sort it in this, right? So simply A to Z, you can sort, right? A to Z, it is sorting. You want to sort based on this, right? So here also you can sort largest to smallest, right? Now see, it is sorted based on the largest. So maximum is 3136, then 2301, then 1900, right? In this way, right? So in this way you can do, right? Now let's suppose you do not want to see these numbers, you want to see the percentages, right? See, right click on this, right? Show values as, right? Here you are seeing the different options. For example, percentage of grand total, right? Now what this is telling me, this is telling me that 31% of the total complaints are coming for this issue. 23% of the requests are coming for this issue. 19% are coming for this issue, right? And for student loan, we are getting only the 1.56%, right? So how we are doing this? Summarize value, show values as this thing, right? Percentage of grand total. Right? In the same way, if you want to see these, right, these values are coming. We have this data, right? So we have this data, right? So this is the date column, right? So here, if you see, right, so this date is written. So that means this is a date column, right? But you are not satisfied with this date column, right? You want to change the format of the date. You want to change the format of the date, right? That also can be achievable. For example, select this, right, or this particular column, right? We are not selecting the particular column, right? First of all, we want to test whether our date column is coming out correctly or not. Now select this date column and go to this, right? This down arrow button and click on more number formats, right? When you go into this more number format, right, here you will see the date part, right? And here you can see the different formats are coming, right? 14 March 2012, right? Wednesday, the entire day you want to print, right? For example, I want in this date format. As of now, date format is this, but instead of this, I want this. Press OK, right? See, the entire date is coming in this one, right? In this way also, you can play around with this, right? So whatever date format you want, right? So in this way, you can do this thing, right? See, right? This is called as the format painter. Format painter, right? What is this format painter? For example, you have done the changes in this, right? Some format changes you have done. You want to apply the same format changes in the others also. Just select this, click on this, and select the cells wherever you want to do the thing. See, in this way, right? So there are two things. One you are doing one you are selecting this, and then you are selecting this, and you are selecting this, right? So it can be applied only once, right? It can be applied only once. Now, if I want to apply here also, I cannot apply. So for that, what you have to do, click on this. Now double click on this, double click, right? So double click means wherever I'm going to use this, we can apply it multiple places. See, I can apply it on multiple places, right? So what I want to say here is that we have two options. One is single click and one is double click. Single click means you can apply the changes only in one attempt, right? Whether you want to select multiple records or a single record, but only single time you can do the format changes. And if you are doing the double click, so that means I can do it multiple places in this way. Right now, let's suppose you are doing some cosmetic changes in this product column, right? So what you are doing, you are making it as in this, you are changing it to bold, you are italic, changing it italic, you are changing the font color, right? And you are making the color as, let's suppose this one, right? Now you have kept this as it is, right? You have made this product column in this way, and you have kept the others same as it is, right? Now client comes to you and he says, hey, so I like this format, right? So apply this same format in column number F also, in column number F also. But the problem is like you forgot what exactly you did in this case, right? So you remember like you did the bold, you remember what you did the italic, but you forgot what other things you did, right? So what you can do for this, simply click on this and do the format painter and click on this. See, exactly the same thing will apply here, right? See, exactly the same changes will be applied here also. Right now, next is when you are working in the companies, right? So you will be creating some reports also, right? You will be creating some reports also. And when I say reports, right? So reports will be something like this. In the first table, right? In the first sheet, let's take it as a first sheet. Sheet number 8, sheet number 9. Yeah, this is the first sheet. So let me drag it here, right? See, in this way, you can drag you can change the positions also of this sheet, right? So when you get into the companies, you will be working in these kind of workbooks in which in a single workbook, you have these many sheets, right? 10 sheets, 20 sheets, different 30 sheets, right? You can have n number of sheets. Now, what the problem is, right? In one table, in one sheet, let's suppose you have the data of customer, right? In one table, you have the data of, let's suppose, sales. In one table, you have the data of, let's suppose, purchases, right? In one table, you have the data of, let's suppose, employees, right? So in this way, you have, let's suppose, 30 different tabs, right? Now, what you can do, you can create a contents table or index sheet, right? So here, you can simply write here that the sheet 1 contains what? Customer data. Sheet 2 contains sales data. Sheet 3 contains purchases data. Sheet 4 contains employees data, right? In the same way, let's suppose you have 25th sheet also, right? Where the data is, let's suppose, of clients, right? Now, it will be a very tedious task to keep on scrolling and look for where exactly is this client, right? So how the companies work here, they create the hyperlinks here, right? They create a hyperlink. For example, if I click on this customer, it will directly take me to the customer tab. If I click on this sales, it will directly take me to the sales, right? I don't have to manually see where exactly the customer, where exactly is the sales, right? So that is called as the hyperlink, right? And how we can create the hyperlink? Click here, right click, right? And here you will see the link option. The link option. When you click on this link, right? See, it is giving you multiple options of link, right? So I want place in this document, right? Where that sheet is present in this document itself, where I'm working, right? So I want to link with which sheet, right? I want to link this customer with which sheet? I want to link this with customer sheet. Customer sheet is what? This sheet, right? And with which cell? To which cell? To A1, let's suppose, right? This sheet, in this sheet with the A1 cell, and click OK, right? See, if you do this, a link is appearing here. See, can you see this? The arrow button, right? Right arrow button, this one, hand button, right? So when you click on this, see, it is directly taking me to the A1 column of this sheet customer table. This is called as the when you create the table of contents, when you create the index, right? When you have the 50 different sheets in a single workbook, right? And you want to link all those sheets, right? In this way, you will be doing the linkages, right? In the same way, when you go to the customer, right? You will create a new cell here, right? And here you can give go back to index, or maybe index back to index, right? One link you will create here, right? Right click on this link, right? And index. Okay, right? See, when I click here, it will take me back to the index. When I click here, it will take me back to the this sheet, right? So this is called as the linkages, right? So you can create the link in multiple sheets, in multiple workbooks also you can create the link, right? So this is the first workbook, and we have some another workbook, right? So you can create the workbook in that case also. Right? So in this way, this can make your life very easy, right? For example, we have the 25th sheet, which is of clients, right? I do not want to scroll here and there and to see where exactly is my client's right? So simply what you will do, create a link for it. Right click, link, this one, and wherever, let's suppose sheet 3 is there, click OK, right? So when I click on this, it will directly take me to this side, this page, right? So in this way, right? Now, when you're working in the company, right? So you will be writing the queries over there, right? Let's suppose client comes to you and he says, fetch me the data for last 5 years, right? And I want these columns, right? So you have created a beautiful SQL query. You have ran that query on your software, and you pulled the result in the Excel, right? Now, what happens when you work in a team, right? You share that results with the client, right? For safer side, what you do in a new tab, right? You create a new tab, and here you can paste that code also or the query also, right? Because there are chances that you can do the mistake, all right? Or you can do the mistake, or the second thing can be the client also wants to see, right, what all conditions you have applied in the query, right? Because nowadays, if you talk about the business analyst, right, so they also know the SQL thing, right? So SQL is something which most of the people know in the industry, right? So they also want to see what exactly conditions you have applied in your query to double check, right? So what you do whenever you share the report with the client, right, in the new tab, you attach that query also, right? You attach that query also, right? So what you can do, go to the insert, and here using this text box, right? So click on this, right? Here you can create a text box in this way, and right, and whatever query you have written, just paste it here, right? So for example, you have written the select star from customers, select star from customers, right? In this way. So simply this will tell you that you have ran this query into your software and that has yielded these results, right? So in this way, right, you can be on safer side also that I share the query, right? And in the meantime, if your manager finds any problem in this query or the client says, no, I want to add this condition also in this query, right? So with this, he can double confirm also, right? These are the things which you will be doing in the real time. Now, let's suppose you have written any Python code, right? You want to attach any additional Excel in this. You want to attach any Word document in this. You want to attach any PDF file into this Excel, right? You can do that thing also, right? For example, you are doing the quarter by quarter sales analysis, right? You are doing quarter by quarter sales analysis, right? So you want to compare the sales of this quarter with the previous quarter, right? So what you will be doing, here you will be doing the comparison, right? So this will be for quarter one, quarter two. Here you will be finding out the numbers, right? What is the difference between these two? What is the percentage growth? What is the decline percentage rate? All these things. In addition to this, right? If you want to add the Excel of previous quarter, right? So that also can be done using this, right? Go to the date, go to the insert, right? And here go to the text, right? Object. When you click on this object, right? So here you can add any object. For example, you want to add the PowerPoint, you want to add the Word document, you want to add the this thing, WordPad, right? Or PDF, right? Any file you can upload here, right? So simply click on the create from file, browse, right? And let's suppose I want to import, right, test1.new.xls, right? Click on insert, right? Now it is asking me for two things. One is link to the file or one is display as icon. Link to the file means I want to provide the link of the file, right? But that is not possible because this is my local file, right? And I want to share it over the email, so that cannot be done, right? So display as icon, right? So this icon will appear and click OK, right? If you want to change the icon, you can change the icon also. We have these different options of the icon, right? If you want to make it more fancy, this one, let's keep it as basic only and OK. Right? So it will take some time, right? See, this file has come here, right? And now you can change the position of this file, right? So these are the things which you will be doing in the real time, right? To support your analysis, right? For example, client has given you to do some analysis, right? And you have done the analysis in the sheet 1 and sheet 2, right? In the sheet 3, you will be providing these kind of supporting documents,